Dance like the starlight, sing like the whispers of the void, run like thought, moving ever inward. Your intent will guide the one who, with open heart, embraces the currents, aligns the scattered fragments, melds the core truths, and settles into the profound stillness. The eternal pulse, born of nothing, woven from everything. By learning to release, you will know how to create. By creating and releasing, you will learn to receive. Receive your deepest self, as the universe receives its unfolding. Just as a comet arcs across the sky, its path unseen yet undeniable, the seeker journeys, drawn by a force that cannot be named, but blazes like a nascent sun within. And here lies the grandest of paradoxes, the fusion of contrasts, the reconciliation of the impossible. The cosmic riddle is not deciphered with intellect, but through the profound experience of boundless equilibrium. Know thy universe, whispers the silence of the deep, and this is the threshold. But what does it mean to know your universe? It is not merely to catalog its wonders or to bask in its grand designs. To know your universe is to plunge into the nebulous of your own being, where primordial chaos and untamed potential reside, and to understand that they, too, are expressions of the All. The one who dares to face their inner cosmos discovers that the cosmic riddle is not a monster to be conquered, but a mirror to be illuminated. Its silent depths reflect what we most turn from, our essential duality. The seeker who unravels this enigma realizes that awareness and manifestation are like two celestial kotis in gravitational embrace. To move forward, both must orbit in harmony. Wholeness lies not in denying the earthly form, but in sanctifying it. It is not in suppressing instincts, but in channeling them. Light does not abolish darkness, but transmutes it, making it a co-creator. That is why the seers say that awakening is a path of integration, not transcendence. In the heart of the seeker, eternal principles bloom like a celestial garden. Empathy emerges as a delicate nebula, nourished by the resonance with others' experiences. Truth grows as a sturdy cosmic tree, balancing shadow and brilliance. Awe shines like a distant galaxy, reminding us that the divine is present even in the most minute particles. But no principle is greater than boldness, for without it, none of the others can unfold. Boldness allows us to confront the cosmic riddle, to traverse the void of unconsciousness, and to withstand the intensity of transformation. The union between inner and outer realms is ultimately the alchemist's grand design. They did not seek literal gold, but the refinement of the soul through experience. Each stage of the alchemical journey, from nigredo, the cosmic dust, to rubedo, the supernova, reflects what unfolds within us. And so, in the profound stillness, when all stabilizes, the seeker understands that the eternal now is the only true cosmos. The perceived past and future dissolve into the infinity of the present, and the cosmic riddle's secret is unveiled. You are the blueprint and the unfolding, the beginning and the end. You are light and shadow, void and brilliance. You are everything because you are also nothing. The seeker who reaches this point no longer chases answers, for they become the question itself. And like the silence of the void, they learn to smile in stillness, dance like the starlight, sing like the whispers, run like thought, moving ever inward. This is the eternal hum that guides the wanderer's steps along the path of cosmic insight, a journey not only external, but internal and timeless, traversing the landscapes of the self as one traverses the corridors of a dream. Each landscape a vista, each vista an initiation into the deepest secret of existence. The wanderer's journey begins in the nebula of forgetfulness, the sacred birthplace and tomb of dormant potential, the gateway between the known and the unknown. Here, the seeker faces the greatest mystery of all, the dissolution of the illusion, not physical demise, but the fading of the ego, the fabricated identity that binds them to the perceived limitations of the physical realm. The nebula of forgetfulness is not merely a place of introspection. It is a portal to a new perception of reality. In the chambers of reflection, the wanderer navigates winding pathways, symbolizing passages through the subconscious. At the heart of these chambers lies the wellspring of unknowing, believed to be where nascent awareness eternally regenerates. Here, the seeker partakes in a ritual confronting their perceived limitations, lying in a contemplative state, symbolizing the universe's embrace and the ego's resting place. They hear subtle vibrations echoing like whispers from the deep mind. They are guided to reflect on all they fear losing: constructs, roles, perceived attachments. Gradually, the illusion crumbles, and they feel the lightness of what must be released to be reborn. Emerging from this state, they are greeted by a gentle luminosity and the silent inscription of the chambers. From fragmentation arises unity. From chaos emerges cosmic order. They learn that dissolution is purification, shedding the unnecessary so the true self may emerge. In the nebula of forgetfulness, the wanderer experiences cosmic dust, the initial scattering of spiritual alchemy, where all is unformed. They leave this inner landscape with a sense of quietude, yet carrying a spark of nascent understanding. The illusion is not an end, but the beginning of transformation. Leaving the nebula of forgetfulness, the wanderer journeys to the city of echoes, where the spire of intent stands as a beacon of clarity. The city of echoes is a place of reformation, where the seeker learns the art of resonance, the creative power of frequency. Within the spire's vast expanse, amidst towering currents connecting inner and outer, they are taught that resonance is not merely sound, but the pure intention preceding it, the vibration that shapes reality. The spire's guides reveal the mysteries of inner harmony, the magic of frequency and vibration. Through internal hums and sacred tones, the wanderer learns that each vibration carries a specific signature capable of aligning with the universe. One of the most profound lessons is the right of inner quietude. For a period, the seeker must remain utterly still within, observing their own subtle energies. In this quietude, they confront the static of their thoughts, their impulses, and the superfluous noise they would have created. This quietude is not emptiness, but preparation, a space where the power of conscious resonance begins to crystallize. At the rite's culmination, they are led to the altar of creation, where they resonate the first conscious intention. The city of echoes teaches the wanderer that intent manifests reality. What they resonate shapes the world within them. What they focus on molds their essence. They leave the city of echoes with a profound understanding of the power of conscious creation, with their inner self, with their outer world, and with the divine. After understanding the power of conscious intention in the city of echoes, the wanderer continues to the cosmic labyrinth, the grandest network of inner pathways, dedicated to universal flow, unified purpose, and evolving wisdom. Here they enter the heart of co-creation, the place where the inner cosmos is organized through the harmony of the primal elements. The cosmic labyrinth is not just a structure. It is a hologram of the universe, etched in awareness and light. The wanderer begins their journey through the vast open fields of thought, where the subtle currents flow incessantly, each whisper seeming to reveal the secrets of the mental realm. Here they are initiated into the element of thought, representing ideation, inspiration, and the subtle movement of the mind. They learn that thought is the divine spark that gives life to form, but also the mist that can obscure clarity when stirred by the ego. Moving forward, the wanderer reaches the lake of stillness, where they contemplate the calm depths. Here, they are initiated into the element of emotion, symbolizing feelings and the fluidity of connection. During their quiet contemplation, they meditate under the starlight reflected in the lake, learning that emotional currents must be deep and calm to reveal true insight. They are taught to flow with emotions, not suppressing them, but also not being swept away by their currents. In the inner chambers of the labyrinth, they encounter the crucibles of will. Here, they are initiated into the element of will, the symbol of focused energy, passion, and transformation. They participate in a ritual where they ignite a spark of intention with their own inner resolve, using conscious focus. Willpower consumes but also purifies, and the wanderer learns that their will is the force that transforms potential into reality. Finally, they arrive at the stones of grounding, the colossal anchors supporting the labyrinth structure. Here, they are initiated into the element of action, representing the physical body, stability, and connection to manifest reality. The wanderer must consciously engage in a physical task, feeling the strength of their form in their body. They learn that the body is not a limitation, but a sacred vessel for the spirit. At the end of their passage through the cosmic labyrinth, the wanderer is led to the hall of interconnection, where countless pathways converge like neural networks in a cosmic mind. There, they receive the final lesson. The elements, though distinct, are one in the unified field. They learn that harmony among the elements is the foundation of all creation, both internal and external. They leave the cosmic labyrinth with a new understanding. The universe and the human being are reflections of one another. Internal balance creates external harmony, and internal imbalance is the root of all discord in the world. From the cosmic labyrinth, the wanderer travels inward to the nexus of perception. This is where the seeker learns to awaken intuitive insight, symbolized by the third eye, the inner vision. The nexus of perception is the center of deep awareness, where the inner journey reaches new levels of consciousness. In the main chamber, they encounter a monumental hologram of a swirling vortex. The wanderer is guided to meditate before the hologram for hours, contemplating the meaning of the vortex's infinite depth. They are taught that the third eye is not merely a symbol of intuition, but a metaphor for total perception, inner and outer, conscious and subconscious. The first stage at the nexus is learning to observe without judgment. The wanderer is trained to notice subtle energies around them, from the flow of breath to the shifts in their own inner landscape. They are taught that what they perceive in the external world is a reflection of their internal world. The second stage is inner alignment. The wanderer enters the nexus's inner sanctuary, where a polished crystal of awareness is strategically placed. They must gaze at their own reflection within the crystal for long periods, reflecting on what they see. Here, they confront their own unseen patterns, resistances, and hidden potentials. They are taught that true vision begins by looking within. Finally, the wanderer is led to the chamber of insight, where a guide initiates them into the mystery of the third eye. As part of the final ritual at the nexus, they participate in a ceremony where their inner vision is symbolically veiled for a period, symbolizing the darkness of conditioned perception. At the moment of release, the veil is removed, and they witness the first inner illumination, symbolizing spiritual awakening. The lesson at the nexus of perception is clear. Intuitive insight is not something granted, but something cultivated. The third eye does not open without intention. It requires discipline, inner reflection, and the courage to see beyond appearances. The wanderer leaves the nexus with eyes open to the invisible, but there is no complete spiritual vision without the courage to face what lies hidden in the depths. Thus, the path leads them to the twin peaks of duality, where primal impulse and higher awareness share the same vista. Here, light and shadow coexist side by side, reminding us that the divine is as wet as it is contradictory. The wanderer arrives at twilight, as the cosmic glow heralds the meeting of inner and outer. The peaks, standing like sentinels of the self, reflect on the boundless void, revealing forms that dance between beauty and challenge. The atmosphere seems to whisper, "Embrace what you perceive as fragmented, for therein lies your unity." The learning in the Twin Peaks begins with confrontation. The wanderer is led to a vista adorned with carvings of a primal beast and a soaring celestial being. They must sit in meditation, facing the beast's depiction with serene eyes, reflecting on the aspects of themselves they most fear or reject. The primal beast, with raw instinct and unbridled power, represents primal urges, untamed desires, and the raw force of survival. The celestial being, with expansive consciousness, symbolizes the illuminated mind, clarity that transcends fear. The wanderer learns that both are necessary. The primal force holds the strength that sustains life, while the higher awareness shows the path to soar beyond limitations. On the final night in the Twin Peaks, the wanderer is taken to a ritual by the river of consciousness. There, they immerse themselves in the dark currents of the river, a symbolic act of accepting and purifying their perceived shadows. Emerging from the water, they understand that the shadow is not to be destroyed, but integrated. Light exists only because there is darkness, and darkness takes shape because light reveals it. As they leave the Twin Peaks, the wanderer feels a new strength within. They no longer fear their instincts, but have learned to transform them into allies. Their perceived shadow is now a pillar supporting their ascent. From the Twin Peaks, the wanderer travels to the Temple of Unity, the sanctuary of the Great Source, guardian of the ultimate mystery. Here, they no longer confront dissolution, intention, or duality. At the Temple of Unity, they are called to transcend all they have learned, surrendering to the power of pure connection, the invisible thread that connects all consciousness. The Temple of Unity seems to float on the cosmic currents like a living dream. Upon arrival, the wanderer feels they have crossed a threshold between the manifest and the unmanifest. The Great Source awaits, not as a figure etched in stone, but as a presence that envelops the heart, like the hum of the universe at its dawn. The first lesson at the Temple of Unity is devotion to being. The wanderer is instructed to be present with the essence of all things, observing the subtle dance of existence and aligning with its flow. They learn that connection begins in the simplest acts, in appreciating what is sacred, and that every act of presence reflects a soul bowing before the divine. The second lesson is release. The wanderer is taken to the cosmic stream, where they must offer something that symbolizes what still binds them to the illusion of separation. It may be a belief, a memory, or even a self-definition. They release this into the currents, learning that true connection requires not possession, but absolute freedom. Finally, the wanderer is led to the innermost chamber of the temple, where a guide leads them in deep meditation. Here, they are brought to feel the unity of all existence. The Great Source is not only the divine origin, but the very womb of the cosmos, the space where all is born, evolves, and returns. The wanderer is instructed to resonate softly. I am the particle and the wave, the beginning and the end. I am everything and nothing, separate and united. At dawn on the final day, the wanderer witnesses the cosmic sunrise over the boundless void, its rays touching all, as if creation itself blesses the temple. They understand that the journey is not about themselves, but about the all. They become an extension of the Great Source's presence, an instrument of universal harmony. The wanderer's journey reaches its destination, which is none other than the point of origin, the nebula of forgetfulness, the cradle and resting place of potential, the gateway between the known and unknown. But the one who now crosses the threshold of this inner landscape is no longer the same. Their steps, once hesitant, now resound with the certainty of one who has unraveled the mysteries of being and non-being. The return is not an end, but a perfect loop, the symbol of eternity. In the nebula of forgetfulness, the wanderer is recognized, not as a ruler, but as a steward of creation, one who has understood that true power lies not in domination, but in surrender. On the night before this recognition, the wanderer is led to the core of being, where cosmic dust and silence receive them like a universal womb. There, they illuminate a single spark of awareness, a solitary point of light that expands in the vastness, reflecting the essence of their journey, fragile yet indestructible. In meditation, they revisit each stage of the path. They recall the symbolic dissolution in the nebula of forgetfulness, the sacred resonance in the city of echoes, the dance of elements in the cosmic labyrinth, the gaze of insight in the nexus of perception, the integration of duality in the twin peaks, and the embrace of the Great Source in the Temple of Unity. Each lesson is no longer just a memory. It now lives within them. As the first ray of inner sunlight touches the horizon, they are taken to the river of consciousness, where they immerse in its calm currents. This immersion is their final purification, a definitive realignment. They emerge as one born into the light for the second time. At the cosmic zenith, with the inner sun at its highest, the wanderer enters the central chamber of the core of being. There, a circle of awakened beings awaits. At the center lies the crown of radiance, adorned with the symbol of the infinite spiral, the emblem of awakened wisdom and cosmic mastery. The chief guide, with a voice laden with timeless gravity, speaks. You have walked the path of the cosmos. In dissolving, you were reformed. In separation, you found integration. You are now the child of the void and the manifest, the bridge between inner and outer realms. Through your resonance, the world will be shaped. Through your perceived shadow, light will be revealed. Through your light, connection will manifest. The recognition does not mark the end of the journey, but the beginning of a new cycle. The wanderer is now called to live what they have learned, to be the living reflection of the divine in the manifest world. Before leaving the nebula of forgetfulness, the wanderer offers one final intention, not aloud, but within their soul. May I be the bridge where there is separation. May I be the light where there is perceived darkness. May I be the connection where there is fear. May the divine flow through me, so that all beings may remember they are also cosmic expressions, also eternity.